Today's video is brought to you by good old Manscaped.com. Manscaped has more than 4 million men worldwide shaving their balls with the premium tools and formulations designed specifically by the greatest engineers regarding grooming and hygiene. Oh, and this time they're going past the groin with the Ultra Premium Collection. And yes, this is in fact an all-in-one skin and hair care kit that covers you from head to toe, literally. Now, Manscaped has a 5 steps in 5 minutes package all about showering, which, when you're posting on a gaming channel is a little sus. But they've got 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioners. They've got body wash with refined cologne scent, body spray, hydrating indeed, aluminum free stick deodorant, and moisturizing lip balm. Yes, indeed. So what are these steps? Step 1, hop into the shower and use that 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. With ingredients like coconut water and green tea, don't consume this. It'll definitely keep you hydrated and moisturized. And then once you've got all out, your hair is rinsed, you can then apply the Manscaped body wash, which it gives you that premium, perfect balance of tough cleaning and soothing hydration. It actually feels good. Step 3, once you've rinsed and toweled off, you can apply the body spray, which gives you an extra bit of moisturization. Then you've got Manscaped deodorant, and y'all know who you are. Apply some of this stick-on beauty, and you'll actually be able to fight some of that dirty BO. You'll end up smelling pretty great. Then step 5, which is the lip balm, and I promise not to do that again if you use our code. And if you ever wondered, am I showering in a cruelty-free environment? Yes, you are, because it's cruelty-free, paraben-free, and vegan, which explains why I can't shut up about it. And if you pick a replenishment cycle that works for you using the Peak Hygiene Plan, ensuring that you won't run out of your favorite Manscaped products, then yes, please, thank you, go for that. Thank you, Manscaped, for covering me from head to toe. And make sure you go to manscaped.com and use our promo code SOG for 20% off your order plus free international shipping. VHS horror is some of my favorite types of horror you'll ever find on the internet. And while there's so much content that exists on YouTube in the name of Local 58, Mandela Catalog, one entertainment company that's been around for a while is Gemini Home Entertainment, clocking in at about 169,000 subscribers, a video distribution company, analog horror anthology series by Remy Abode. Now, of course, Gemini, while they say we're not going anywhere, VHS horror definitely should never go anywhere. I'm a huge fan of this kind of stuff. As you all know, I've covered these kind of arcs in the past. Very recently, we just did the Mandela Catalog, and I even looked at things like Backrooms, which are their own sort of, lore-based series based around very famous creepypastas. Now, I love VHS horror, as you all know, even when it goes to like emergency alert systems, which still give me some crazy anxiety, especially dealing with the world we live in today. I'm a huge fan of getting into this kind of stuff. Now, Gemini Home Entertainment, of course, has been around for a fair bit, and they've got numerous videos, 18 in all. Lengthwise, these videos are about, 4 minutes at the earliest to 7 minutes at the longest. They're not terribly long videos, and for the most part, they are divided into sort of sections, okay? For instance, every time you click on a specific video, you'll get sort of a TV show broadcast for a half of it, and then it'll turn into a found footage horror section towards the later bit. One that has an overarching story connecting this anthology series together. So I wanted to really dig through a few of the videos, really cover them, and sort of go through the story as we did the Mandela Catalog and as we did these other ARGs. In the view of somebody that's really come across horror like this. Because of the actual music that they've used, I may have to mute it just so that my video doesn't get copyright claimed. Gemini does not apparently put ads on their videos. They're not monetized. However, if you see an ad on their channel, it's because they've used, something in the public access, something that's monetized, specifically music, and it gets flagged. So here it is, the titular logo, Gemini Home Entertainment. So we're taking a trip to rural Minnesota, and of course, as you can tell, well, you shouldn't be able to hear the music because you can absolutely get, claimed. They're covering numerous counties, they're covering numerous animals, such as the greater prairie chicken. And of course, this is where things start out normal, alright? It's just, it's literally filmed in the vein of a standard, nature show that you would find on, like, public access televisions. But where things start to change is when you find out in the everywhere section, the music dips out, and then it covers a special type of animal, known as wood crawlers. So what are wood crawlers? Let's let Gemini explain it to us. Found all over North America, these animals are excellent hunters, being able to tread most terrain without making a sound. If it's something that definitely freaks me out in this whole situation, is just listen carefully to, like, how they've actually... Like, just listen carefully. It's like, there's no track anymore. It's just ambience. Their preferred nesting locations are inside the homes of large families where large swarms can adapt easier. You will hear screaming. Again, that's animal screaming, not human screaming. They stole their voices. See, that's when it starts to get a little creepy. Burn the bodies lest they stand up again. So apparently it seems these wood crawlers are definitely zombie-like in a way. So now we're actually going inside, zooming into the person out. Nature's mockery. So yeah, this is where things are really creepy. At this point in the TV show, this is not part of the programming. What the Yeah, it's the first time I had that reaction. As you can see, they've got what appears to be 2 pieces of construction papers. I'm going to say they're hands, but it's on a budget. You can see that they're grabbing something, and then that's it. They're just dipped out of there. It's over. And this is where things change, okay? So obviously, like I said earlier, you're going to start to watch a television show that deteriorates slowly over time into something more sinister, and then you get a found footage, series that'll carry throughout the entire thing. This is part 1 of it. Of course, you can see that somebody is inside. It seems like somebody may be peeking out from that. No, that's just a, window. We're just looking into somebody's house right now. I can't tell if this is the same house. They've got the red paneling outside. Let me just go back and see if it's the exact same house. It is, in fact, it looks like the exact same house. Okay, zoom into their place. Let's go. There seems to be no. You got a kid looking at you, and this guy, I'm not able to decipher the face, but it seems like they're giving you one of those. Yeah, you see that face? You get out of there. You run far away. Just seems like somebody's okay. They're making mouth movements, trying to wet their mouth. And I don't know why we're getting this close to people like this. This guy's going to turn around. Fake people. Oh, we're getting like the Mandela catalog in a way. Some shapeshifter nonsense. There's about to be a screamer at this point. No, there isn't. No? Oh. You've been detected. Oh, shit, you've been detected. Get out of there. No. Fake people, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. Fake people. And that marks the end of the first video of the Gemini home entertainment series, okay? So, of course, you can imagine, we've got world's weirdest animals, we got wood crawlers, we got fake people. And it seems like our character who's been running the investigation, it seems, for now, has been caught and detected. What has happened to them? We're going to find out in the next couple episodes. Next one comes into storm safety tips. So, of course, this one covers just it's kind of like the EAS broadcast, very chill, very relaxed, audio, where it talks about storms and how to survive in the storm. You do not want to get caught in a storm unprepared. Step 1, reinforce your house, okay? This may involve improving structural support, then install an early warning system. I think the government got you covered for that one. Creating a storm bunker would be the third step. Make sure the bunker matches the following measurements, 10 by 18 feet. Kind of a little, it's almost like a little prison cell environment. Create concrete foundation, at least 8 inches thick. In the center of your bunker, install large aluminum hemisphere, 4 to 5 feet. Place shortwave radio next to the hemisphere, and then of course they're giving recommendations for, radios and EAS systems. Only turn on radio in the event of an emergency. And it's glitched out. Okay. So what do you do during a storm? Well, let's find out. In the event that a storm hits your home, it's important to follow the 3 steps. Step 1. Quietly take your family to your bunker. Oh, the music's fading out. This guy's your home does not belong to you now. Why doesn't it belong? How bad could the storm be if that's the case? Then you turn on the shortwave radio. Ignore all sound produced by the radio. These are auditory hallucinations. Okay. What's the point of it? Remain calm. Well, of course. Your tears are filled with salt, that's true. But remaining calm is just standard procedure. You never want to panic in these situations. Especially when wood crawlers are coming after you. Of course, after a storm. If you believe the storm has passed, carefully leave your bunker to survey for damages. This guy's acting like the storm is nuclear fallout or something. Like you're going to be, dead. If your house has been severely damaged, check for movement inside. Do you hear the chime? You are safe. The storm has passed over. Wouldn't the chime be an auditory hallucination, though? Here we've got one light, one more, That's what you would see after a storm. And once you've seen that, you're basically screwed. Okay, now we should listen. I actually looked under my feet. Crawling through the floor. It's the wood crawlers. It's the wood crawlers. Congratulations, you're now well equipped to defend you and your family against storms. Now you might be like, but Muda, what do you think, what kind of storms are we talking about? Immediately when you click onto this, you think storm is in like a hurricane warning, how to survive that. But they really built something in it really almost feels like you're getting invaded by some like extraterrestrial species at this point. Like that's what they're kind of going with, at least from my perspective. Like wood crawlers are not a native animal, but we've had a wood crawling, reference over here. And it seems these wood crawlers are definitely here to take over, all right, in some capacity. And it seems like the bunker you're building is almost as if like you're building your own tomb. Like a 10 by 18 cell that you stay in. And what's really funny in this situation is throughout all the survival tips that they really threw, they never told you to get food, they never told you to get water, they never told you to get any real survival, abilities. They didn't really tell you a time frame of how long you should stay down there, only that you go down, you put in a radio, you listen to the radio, but you ignore it because it's auditory hallucinations. And then when you go out, hey, provided... all right, there's no movement in your house, and you're not seeing lights in the distance like we just saw, you should be good. Clearly, I have to believe the wood crawlers are in fact aliens. I think they're in fact Alamaus. This takes us to the next video, the Deep Blue. Now, the Deep Blue seems to be a standard little nature show about Russian water, it seems. Very nice, cool little tiki music, if you will. It's actually really, like, again, everything on this whole show I would actually see on a public access network, okay? Somewhere at like 3 in the morning, you can't buy regular cable, this is all you got. The ocean is full of mystery and wonder. If you actually think there's more in space than we haven't discovered than there is in our oceans, then you'd actually be surprised. There's actually a lot of species that keep getting discovered every year in the entire ocean. In fact, places as deep as the Marianas Trench have remained unexplored. So who knows what kind of horrors exist out there, but hopefully Gemini Home Entertainment will show us. And then they get swallowed by the blue whale, like mammoths by the blue whale, which is one of the largest sea predators on the ground. Like, this is the top of the food chain. Despite its beauty, the ocean can be a very dangerous place. Actually, it's one of the most unexplored places in human history. It's actually, like, I think we know less about the ocean than we even know about space, to be real with you. The stingray may look innocent, but it carries deadly poison in its tail. Okay. However, let's get deeper into like what seems to be the Mariana Trench in this case. Yep, Marianas Trench, the deepest place on the Earth. The Marianas Trench plus the Demetia Tunnel, which actually it is one of the deepest places on Earth. I don't even think you can go all the way down into the Mariana Trench, simply because like we don't have the things to withstand the severe pressure in the water down there. But let's see what's in the unknown depth. Okay, so here we're sending in like an EOD bot or something, like down into the depths below. So do we see something unique here? Do we see the origins of these wood crawlers? I don't think we do. Nothing can live inside the Marianas Trench. I don't know how true that is, but okay, Chief. No, it's definitely not true. Now, if you look closer here, that seems to be the wood crawlers, okay, that seems to be the lights from the last video that we've seen. So clearly something lives inside the Marianas Trench. Maybe this is the origin point of the wood crawlers. Maybe these things aren't so alien as we thought. Maybe they were here on the Earth a long time ago. It actually kind of reminds me of the creatures from War of the Worlds, if anything. That's where I'm kind of getting. But that leads us after to artificial computer learning. So something that I like to read upon from time to time. So let's see what artificial learning has to do. Let's see what machine learning has to do with the Gemini Home Entertainment project. So you can start to see, like, at this point, how everything interlinks between one another. So obviously every single thing over here has a connection. There is an overarching story. It's not just, programming that you would see on standard television brought into the forefront here. So here we got Regnot Computing, which is the company that we're mentioning here. And, they've got, again, you can tell by the style of this, is they're setting it way back in the day. All right, this is like somewhere in like the 80s, early 90s, if you will, like mid 80s. And here we've got brief background. For the past 4 years, Regnot Computing has been developing artificial computer intelligence using new revolutionary methods. These methods have led to produce the world's most advanced AI to date. So in their universe, they actually have AI way earlier than we do. So, as a test of this intelligence abilities, we gave it the task of creating an original, intelligible story in the format of a children's story. Oh boy, this is not going to be nice. Harry, Mary to follow together. Travel, follow the secret. Jack the river, it is dead. First iteration tests heed insufficient results. Through patterns and story consistency are clearly visible, albeit unrefined. Really? Let me check that. I mean, obviously the story doesn't make any sense, but I guess, yeah, there is definitely a pattern, as you can read over here. It's definitely creating a pattern, but obviously the story is relatively nonsensical. So here's the second iteration of the artificial intelligence, Gen 2. Jack leapt over the river. Mary followed close behind. They are searching for the secret place. I hear you. Okay, that's way more coherent, also way more creepier. Well, what are they looking for? What is the secret place? Yeah, it probably has something to do with Mariana's Trench. Or like, you know, some alien world. So again, third iteration. Jack leapt over the river. There goes Mary down the stream. The secret place will keep us safe. The river flows, but not with water. So again, it has something to do with, like, the trench or, like, you know, the dangers hidden in the sea. So finally, on iteration 4, Jack heard it again. There's a voice from space. Ah, see, I knew these things going forward. I can tell when there's a space, there's an alien story to this. Jack, do you see me? I've become something else. Okay, so it is definitely some haunting. Listen to the silver box. Okay, they're talking. There's voices. The stars are moving now. Do you see the hungry eye? Okay, I'm getting creeped out. Something's de-blurring in the back. You can kind of see things. Shit, here I am. What the fuck? Wait, here it is. Visual and sort. Okay, so here we've got the visual distortion. We've got a circle with, like, it seems like a Death Star with an eye, and it's pointing to this circle. And here it's got intent and alive. So it is like an it's something observing. Okay, we've got those same things we saw in the last video, growing an eye, and that's where it ends. The video should have demonstrated the capabilities of Regnod Computing's artificial intelligence. So it really just seems like that Regnod might be like a front for this alien group. Like, if you think about it, back in the 80s and the early 90s, like, they wouldn't have had any capacity to do artificial intelligence. It's not really like... I mean, while that's not entirely true, I mean, if you look into the 60s with the Eliza chatbot developed in MIT, using basically a set of scripts encased by fairly simple code, gave the illusion of speaking to a chatbot psychotherapist. But, you know, until you get, like, memory and you start to get, like, a bunch of, you know, until, like, processing power increases, this tends to become a field of relative, I guess you could say, science fiction at the time. So really, if they had AI, like Ragnar had actual artificial intelligence, it has to be something alien, okay? Because even today, even now, we're just starting to really tap into the field of artificial intelligence, and if this whole story ends up going sentient, then we're not even actually there at this point in time. So really, this is an alien society that's given us, you know, technological feats that we have yet to actually discover. And no computer back then really had the processing power to handle this kind of stuff, so, you know, at the end of the day, it seems like whatever this is, it seems like it might be a front for, like, an alien group. Like, they're the ones that had the, like, they're the ones that are running tests on the world via this artificial computer, you know, learning company. So maybe I think Regnod might actually be an alien group. This takes us to the next video, our solar system, Gemini Home Entertainment. So again, very much close to the, you know, alien, you know, outer space, maybe underwater theme that we're going for. So again, we're covering from the start, right here, the sun. I think everyone knows that. Without it, we're all dead. Situated 149 million miles away, the sun provides light for our entire solar system. Without it, Earth would be a barren, frozen rock. Then we got Mercury. As one of the smallest planets in our solar system, Mercury is also the hottest. Yeah, no shit, because it sits so close to the sun. Come on now. The second brightest object in the night sky, Venus, can sometimes be seen from Earth. I think we can see Venus, and I think it all stops, like, I think we can also see Jupiter as well. Anything beyond that is, like, impossible. Jupiter is a gas giant which has no solid surface. I think I read somewhere that Jupiter could actually be used as, like, an interstellar gas station if we ever get to that point. But this is the great red eye spot, and it's not an eye. Okay. Saturn. Although mostly a gas giant, there may be a large, solid core deep inside the planet. The planet's prominent rings are quite a sight to behold. They are the gateway. And then you got Neptune, which is a large storm rages in the planet called the Great Dark Spot, and it's in the lens. See, I didn't know that. Neptune has been mutated. Mutated how? Could it have supported life? Oh, no. Wait, look carefully. Hold on, frame by frame this. You can actually see an eye open up right here. Look, Ed. Yeah, you see that? You see that right there? That's what I love frame by frame. That's the eye right there. This is like the... So one commonality between all of this stuff is the eye. Like you actually end up seeing the eye everywhere you go. So this is real. Where's Pluto? The iris. It is with us now. Very eye focused. Okay. Laughing at us. Oh, don't zoom into that. Do not zoom into something like this. Jesus Christ. One thing I will say is that there's not any screamers here, thank God. Behold. Behold what? Is that the storm in Neptune? These are all the various other planets, obviously. Holy crap, it looks like the universe's largest solar flare just hit him, like with the full-on gamma radiation. Yeah, it like gives you that, so okay, from what we've seen, we've got Mars in this situation. Mars is the one where we had a little bit of the graphical hiccup at. So the aliens could have been from Mars, and then it went to, you know, Jupiter, it went to Saturn, which is claimed to be the gateway, and then Neptune was where things really just changed, okay? Neptune is where we had, you know, the storm raging, the iris of the center, and what it believes to be the largest, you know, spike of radiation, the largest flare we've ever seen. So something in our solar system exists that wants to actively hunt us. You know, these wood crawlers, we went from wood crawlers to storm warnings against the wood crawlers to being freaked out of our oceans and the stars. So clearly no place in our universe seems to actually be safe. I think there was actually, like, if I want to like step away, there was this like theory that since we haven't actually seen alien life, one of the real spooky theories that'll have you really thinking is that because we have never seen alien life, it appears that maybe something terrible might have actually happened in the entire universe that caused that to be a thing. And so that's why we haven't actually seen any like exterior life, simply because there's some great massive tragedy that occurred. And we might be the only bits of life left, you know, in the universe. So that's actually something that'll keep you thinking. Again, if you ever wanted to like look into it, look into that theory. It's actually fucking scary. I think they call it like... I want to see what it is. Hold on. Yeah, they call it the Fermi paradox. It's the conflict between the lack of clear, obvious evidence for extraterrestrial life and the various high estimates for their existence. So if life is so easy, someone from somewhere must have come calling by now. Which is true, right? Like, there's no doubt there's life outside, but maybe there might have been an actual serious accident that could have caused it to all be dead. So the next video here is camp information, alright? So many of the original camp buildings remain untouched since the initial closure, which is a camp that has been shut down, as you can imagine. And it's literally out in the middle of nowhere wilderness, but they've got some activities, such as hiking! Exactly what you expect out of a camp. One thing to notice is like the actual, it's not the video quality, these are just blurry shots. Just make sure you don't get lost. Easier said than done. Archery has been a tradition throughout the camp's lifetime, with the targets getting more extravagant every year. And then you've got canoeing, you've got the harvest, which is the lights in the sky event. Again, if you see lights, go back to your storm cellar. The aliens are going to take you. What are the accommodations though? Well, you got some nice little tents. Those are murder houses. People have died in those cabins, for sure. For the kids, we have separate boy and girl cabins, each with fun activities all year round. Yeah, you don't want to put your kids in a cabin like that. That's bad. That's all kinds of bad. Now, we've seen this a few videos ago, all right? So this is a camp where clearly it's got to be run by aliens. It's got to be run by extraterrestrials, because this is where they harvest human beings. An important part of Moonlight Acres' legacy is its mythos. Tall tales have been told from person to person throughout the camp's lifetime. In 1935, rumors of strange, well-dressed men visiting the camp began to make the rounds. It is said that the men would ask to enter the camp's administrator cabin every night for years. One night, a deal was made with the strange men, and they left the camp, never to be seen again. Another popular myth arose in the 30s when campgoers began to have sightings of skinwalkers. The wood crawlers have changed. Now they've turned into skinwalkers. Oh, we've seen those legs before in the first thing. So they're the skinwalkers, okay. So clearly, by the name skinwalker, they're taking, like, human beings. And now I guess they're absorbing our identities, or, like, stealing our identities. Vessels. It's us. We're the vessel. Adam Levitch, men's club supervisor. He answered the door, turned into a vessel. Barry Johnson, assistant activity advisor. Truman Michaels, they all answer the door. Bethany Newson, Alec Davidson, Dorothy Bates. And that, my friends, is the image we're seeing. That is a skinwalker. And again, if you look at the scale here, that's a light pole. Light poles are fucking huge, okay? They're like power line huge. Like, the only thing taller than this would be like a genuine, like, power tower. This is a big thing. That is larger than the actual, that is larger. That's a huge thing. You're not escaping it. That's how big the alien is. I will say, though, if this existed, even if it's out, like, in the middle of Bumble nowhere, I feel like this would make the news. This has to kind of make the news. Look at how big that is. The only thing that even comes close to what we're kind of witnessing over here is, like, Siren Head as a creepypasta. That's about the closest thing. And, of course, that's completely synthetic. This, in this case, is some organic being that's definitely from outer space. And speaking of video games, the next actual release in this ARG is, in fact, a video game that you can download and play for yourself. Now, Lethal Omen has a PS1 graphical style, which if you've been a follower of my channel at all, you've noticed that I'm a huge sucker for these type of visual styles in video games. Now, Lethal Omen fleshes out the ARG even further, and initially it starts off with you holding a firearm, grabbing 3 keys, and entering into Moonlight Acres, which is exactly what we just saw. Now, it'll take you no longer than 20 to 30 minutes to actually get all of the 5 endings that'll help flesh out the story even more. Now, of course, one thing to understand is while you do end up getting a lot of the entities we've just seen already mentioned into this ARG, one thing that I want to really stress on to start off with is this section right into the beginning. So there's a few cabins that you can actually enter and see that there's beds, there's televisions, but more importantly, those televisions consist of actual sleep visualizer experiments. This is something we're going to get onto later on in the ARG. There's a few enemies around the entire game as well that you can choose to engage or not engage, and all of these end up bringing you to 5 different endings. Again, it's really 20 to 30 minutes worth of playtime, and like everything in this ARG so far, it's going to flesh out the overarching branching storyline. That is, at least in my experience so far, is of an alien invasionary force. Or maybe they've already invaded, who knows. But give Lethal Omen a playthrough. For now, we gotta move on to the Wilderness Survival Guide. Jack Wilder's Wilderness Survival Guide. Whether you're camping, hiking, or hunting, it's important to stay safe when going into the wilderness. That's just basic advice. Essentials. Be prepared. So again, now they're telling you to actually have, like, you know, general preparations. So what's the basic equipment? Water flask, non-perishable foods, first aid kit, matches, compass, knife. Okay. At least I told you to have food and water this time. Oh, store them in a backpack. No, I was going to keister stash them, thank you. Slowly back away, keeping your eyes on the animal. That's what you got to do when you deal with a bear. If the animal displays aggression, raise your voice and speak sternly. Keep backing away until you are out of view of the animal. Oh, okay, no, the bear actually changed. So it seems like the bear might be the good old skinwalker. So it changed into... Yeah, again, like, it's those arms that are like a dead giveaway. But, like, the face even changed here, too. Like, look at that. The face straight up went off on you. Like, if we go all the way back here real quick. Yeah, the face straight up changed. So avoiding poison ivy, okay. Water hemlock. Nature's mockery. So that's actually new. I've never heard of nature's mockery, but it's dangerous because it causes hallucinations. Sudden muscular paralysis, body disfigurement, and flesh decay. One would think that federal agencies would burn every inch of this. So these are sounds you need to avoid. Coyote howls is one, sure. Doesn't sound like regular howls, okay. That's a cougar scream, yep. I played enough Red Dead 2 to know that. Okay, so auditory hallucination. See, again, I don't know if these are auditory hallucinations. It seems like somebody's actually getting attacked and they're telling you these are hallucinations. No, that might actually be somebody getting attacked and you should help them out. Like somebody's literally screaming, "Help me, help me, help me." Those are not hallucinations. That's the aliens telling you to not investigate and stop them. And what is this? Human being standing out? Okay, somebody's standing out there. Is that them making it? That's them making the noise. Look. You can see the mouth move. Yeah, they're moving the mouth. So that's the skinwalkers. Okay, that's why you don't move near them. Because they're making the noises to attract people. Okay, I was dead wrong. They're moving around like zombies. They're moving around like literal morbid zombies. If you believe you've been infected through a wound, do the following. Wash wound with the water and soap, okay. Use antibiotic ointment on injury. Forcefully rip foreign object from the body. Dude, the way these people twitch freak me out. Like, it really does. It really is. It really do be freaking anyone out. I believe the real takeaway, of course, from this was if you are in this region of the United States and you come across that specific plant, which has already been detailed to give you such heinous side effects, that is what causes the infection. That there is something in there that roots a spore within you, and it absolutely grabs you. It's almost like The Last of Us with the cordyceps infection, or, you know, in a way, it's like some weird variant of rabies, which absolutely pushes you to a very, you know, potent edge, and there is no control left in humans anymore. I don't know what this necessarily has to do with human beings, you know, being captured by aliens or whatnot. You know, it really could go in many different ways, but clearly these people have already come across this plant specifically, put a safety warning on it, and still people unfortunately come into contact, and throughout its side effects are screaming in the heavens, attracting more people to this region and further pushing an infection. So whatever alien agenda is out here, clearly this is the vector of transmission. So next we get the sleep image visualizer. Harbinge Technologies. Harbinger. I just finished Mass Effect 2 again, so it's hitting me. Sleep image visualizer. Okay, setup and information. So this is the sleep image visualizer. It seems like a lot of this technology that's built in this universe is way more advanced than we've got. So kind of cool. Computer connection port. Okay, then you get the module power port on that side. Headset connection port. And then the configuration panel, okay. So then you've got, it looks like a VR headset to be real with you. Aluminum dome. And then connect the sleep image visualizer to your computer using the cord provided. And then you connect it to the main module using the other cord. And then you install the software on your computer. So here's the actual thing. Boot up your computer, run the software, looks like palm trees. And you put the headset on. So here is the visualization from Levy Jacobs. Began at December 12, 5:24, and it ended 5:30 a.m., so not more than 6 minutes. Oh wow! Oh, there is Agent 47 peeking at you from around the door. Can I actually say something though? Like this is what sleep paralysis feels like. Like legit, I'm not even joking. Like this is the kind of stuff you like. It's not that like obviously visible. Like I don't see that, but like this is the feeling that you have. Imagine being unable to move and having a feeling like somebody like that is peeking at you. That's what it feels like. Place the Civ headset on your head, ensuring all clamps are secure. It seems like this is designed to like control your mind or do something. So here's another visualization from Adrian Gordon, beginning at 4:06 a.m. to 4:10. So this is only 4 minutes long. Like, what are you capturing? You're in like an auditorium? Upon waking up, check your computer for your fully rendered sleep image visualization. Please note that all sleep image visualizations are automatically sent to and are legal property of Harbinge Technologies. Oh, we've got Jack Dean at 3 a.m. to 6:17 p.m. So, holy, this guy was dead for like, this guy was comatose for 3 days. Oh my god. What kind of hell were you living in? Oh god. See, that's sleep paralysis. Like somebody at the edge of your door. Okay. These are the skinwalkers. For 3 days you've been like this. Oh! Okay. That's actually, like, real. They had, like, an untextured face. Okay. Skinwalkers without skin. Reminder. The sleep image visualizer takes images from your unconscious mind and visualizes them. These images do not represent reality. Okay. Dreams cannot tell the future. Sleep image visualization, Joseph Allen, beginning at, what time? 4:06 a.m., June 24th, and it just ended. They died in their sleep. They died in their sleep. Okay, so we're back looking at the sun. Are we gonna see, like, the skinwalker? Oh, goddamn. Okay, so the entire world just started blowing up around them. Yeah, that person died in their sleep. And that is a sleep image visualizer. To understand this video, you really do have to play the video game in question. Now, to understand, when we play the video game, we get 3 keys. We come across the actual park grounds, which contains numerous sheds that one can go in. These sheds contain a bed, television, and more importantly, these sleep visualization devices. So I believe what we actually saw were the small results and snippets of those sleep visualizations. Now, of course, people who are brought in, I don't know what the observation is, but one thing to really focus on is the technology being used in this. It is clearly far more advanced than anything that should exist for, this time period. So really the companies involved, whether you look at the Computing Corporation or you look at, Harbinge Technologies, what they're providing, what they're giving, it seems like these companies are a front for an alien species. And why would somebody visualize sleep? I think it's really to observe the dreaming pattern of human beings, okay? Dreaming is obviously something that we have not tapped into as hard as we really should have as human beings. I think the only way to really isolate, the only way to really figure out what dreams are, other than synapses firing off, you really have to visualize, you really have to turn those, electronic impulses into some form of visualization. And of course, to pull that kind of technology off really is alien in nature. So I think at this point, what's happening with humans is they're being observed on. And towards the end of that game, and truly towards the end of some of these videos, is it seems whoever has the more interesting dreams, whoever has the most potent dreams, whoever may, for example, see that mannequin that we've just seen time and time again in these visualizations, is then taken and abducted, and God knows what happens with them after that, whether they're dead or they're being experimented on. So I think really these sleep image visualization tools are used to isolate who should be abducted and who should be let go. Clearly not every human being is fit for whatever alien species and what their end goal is in regards to their relation to us. And this takes us to Games for the Kiddos. About a year ago they're uploading, so it's a pretty consistent arc. I mean, last few uploads were actually from 2 weeks ago, so this isn't abandoned. The story is growing. The story is blowing up, but this is just us looking into it. Hey kids, are you bored? Need some new fun games to play? Well, you're in luck! A list of fun classic games to play with your friend. Game number 1. One player is chosen as a seeker while everyone else are the hiders. That's a hide and seek, alright? This is not classic. This has been there since the caveman eras. Okay, so here we're inside. This house looks old. So you hide. Okay, somebody's hiding behind a little subwoofer. Found you! The last hider to be found wins. So then you get freeze tag, which is one person is chosen as it while everyone else is runners. It has to chase and tag the runners. When a runner is tagged, they freeze. And then somebody else can go unfreeze the runner too. Where things really get important is when we get to the actual unknown game called Feed the Woods. Feeding the Woods! All players will wait until it's very dark and your parents have fallen asleep. Ah, hunting the kiddos down. Sneak outside very quietly and gather all your friends. Go into the woods, walk until you cannot see the light anymore, and scream at the top of your lungs. I want to see your kids screaming. Don't go into this bunker. Don't go deeper, kid. You're gonna do a lot more than cry. That is... So you can even gauge scale, right? If that's the skinwalkers, That's how tall they are. And those are the eyes that they look at you that we've seen previously. Don't go up there. Well, I mean, at this point, the kid's screwed. Like, let's be honest. You're not surviving. Well, what are the cops gonna do? Don't go near the cops? The game ends when the forest is fed. Oh, and the police are gone. Yeah, this is in the middle of Bumble nowhere. It's because that place is a population of 300, and the weirdest things are happening out there that nobody is known for. And that's something that you would expect in the United States as well, too, right? Like, if you're in the U.S., all right, like, when you're living away from the cities, there's a huge part of the United States that's just left untapped, okay? And that's where this kind of freaky shit might be happening, right? Like, if you live away from the cities, then it all kind of sounds believable. A lot of weird shit goes on in the cities. If you ever driven through, like, backwoods Ohio, for instance, a lot of weird stuff happens out there, too, all right? There's no explanation for it. It just does. So here they're focusing on Earth, and the aliens have definitely found us. They have. The aliens want us. They want human beings. They want our soul, life energy, whatever you want to call it. Advanced mining vehicle leads us to the next piece. NAMAD, Northern Alberta Mining and Development. So now we're hitting some Canada right now. Okay, we could have been in Canada the whole time. And no, we started from Minnesota, so it's like the Midwest, that prairie side. After years of development, NAMAD is proud to unveil the future of mining technology. Oh, here it is, computer-based tunneling. Okay, so we're sending a little tunnel bot. The remote-operated compact tunneler is a vehicle to revolutionize mining. Okay. We're gonna find something freaky out here, aren't we? What is that? Is that a dead person? Like, it's not in focus, but like, you got like eyes, nose, and a mouth. Is that a dead person? It's focused onto somebody dead. The blood pumps through the garden's veins. The crops mature. So now we're hitting something that lives subterranean. Nowhere is safe on Earth. No place is actually safe, guys. Like, the oceans aren't safe, space isn't safe, and the caverns below us are not safe. And we've got one of the skinwalkers. You can look at it. That's their eyeball. That's the iris, man. That is the iris indeed. Peek more to the side and you've come across where they live. That's their feet. That's their iris. I'm surprised they haven't attacked the actual drone here. They've not attacked the actual drone. It's just sort of like moving around, chilling. Now it seems like it's captured and like sort of nested here. Like, you can see like how the camera's covered with like this weird branch. Almost looks like a fluid, if you will, like some sap. Shifting tendons, shape anatomy, mutations of the heart. So what we just saw were the tendons. Oh God. Oh, is that where they're breeding the things? Okay. It seems like it seems like I was right. This was in fact a nest, and this is in fact a breeding like hub. Man, why can't our public access be this goddamn cool? So since we covered the subterranean area, it's time to look at the deep root. So obviously, at this point, like if we're recapping at this moment, the skinwalkers, which started off as the old wood crawlers, are now appearing to be alien species that live out in space. We've seen tons of stuff from space. Shots even from space, where they look at Earth, straight up point to it, kidnapping us. We've got the oceans that have these people living in there, and now they live in the subterranean like caverns below us. So it really seems like over time, a lot of these things have come across, captured our people, or maybe they've been here for a long time. Maybe we're the fucking aliens at this point, you know? Like maybe we're the actual alien species. Maybe this is their world and we just came onto it, you know? So here we've got Deep Root Disease, an educational film. Okay. Sections, roots, contractions, bulbs, diagnosis, sprouts. So here we've got roots. Roots begin to form on the underside of a bulb once rooting stage begins. The speed of the growth increases as rooting stage progresses. The base of the root swells as growth continues and the surrounding areas become discolored. Then the roots will continue forming until they come in contact with the bone. Once the contact is made, the roots then spread freely. So how will an individual contract the deep root disease? So remember, these things have to reach your bone in order to wrap you. So somebody's sleeping in their bed, safe and sound. One thing to ascertain from this angle in the bed is it's suspiciously close to another angle where we saw the mannequin only a few videos ago. So clearly it may hint that these mannequins are what initially are used to spread the deep root disease. Or in fact, if they are a vector of transmission, they're just one of many vectors, really. Bulbs. Is that the creature we saw earlier, the non-rendered PS1 polygon? Is that how they get infected? So then these typically appear on normally exposed parts of the body as bulbs, if you will. And they're the first visible sign of deep root disease. They can range from 2 centimeters to 10 centimeters across. 10 centimeters, man, that's like... How do you not notice that? For the first few hours of appearance, bulbs feel hollow and may be pressed down with ease. Once rooting stage begins, the bulb will become solid, and then those affected may experience pain. The area will become inflamed as rooting stage progresses, and small sores may appear around the affected area. As rooting stage appears reaching its climax, these lumps will begin to form more rapidly. I think this explains some of those like bears we saw earlier. Like this is like the zombie. This is why people turn into something. Once you've been rooted, it's all over. If you believe somebody you know has contracted deep root disease, proceed with this very simple diagnosis test. So you check for a bulb on the exposed skin. For erratic muscle spasms, so when they were just twitching, yeah. They're home for unrecognizable smells. Ask if they can recall their mom's name. Oh, probably screws with their memory. If they have stopped dreaming, if they have felt new bones. That explains even why those bears we saw were shape-shifting into like weird tendon monsters. If 4 or more of these tests describe an individual, no, they have something else. Proceed with protective safety measures. What is that, like 12 gauge to the head? Sprouts, okay. That is how I assume it spreads, and like other people get rooted. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is like really freaky. Let me just turn down the lights, add the extra fear and God into me. That's it. So deep root disease seems to be it's an explanation as to what happened to a lot of those people we saw earlier on that were just twitching around, even the animals, if you will. And I think what we found here, all right, are aliens. Like, what I've really started to get from this at this point, okay, before we finish the final stretch of these entire, like, analyses, is it really seems like whatever alien group that lives out is finally, like, increasing, you know, their sort of attack. Because now we've known that they're living in the subterranean caverns. They probably came from space, but now they're living in the oceans. They're basically living everywhere. And they're preying upon the people that live in small town areas. But now we've got straight up disease, okay? And the thing with disease is when a disease like this exists and it spreads, the goal is not to keep it contained any longer in a small place. At this point, whatever alien species that exists is going to go out there and attack the general population. So really what you got over here is like an end of the world scenario, okay? Like now we're screwed. When they've already started spreading biohazards like this, there is no more like we left, all right? Because they're not going anywhere. We're going somewhere. And that somewhere ain't pretty. So let's look at the monthly progress report. Let's see what the aliens have been up to in the month. Back to Regnod Computing, what I believe to be the alien front. Project name, Project Infrared, Manager Duncan Parnell, Kennedy Silva, and Alex Moore. So these are the people here. Status active, 84% completed, and their client and communication is active. So the project is the study of assisted technological progress via artificial computer learning for the following purposes. So using AI to do the busy work, if you will. To predict and prevent future technological failures. To advance in the field of technological discovery, especially computer processing and memory. So what, to prevent Y2K and beat Moore's Law? Oh, here we go. So it's actually, the above image displays a video game demonstration created to showcase the graphical capabilities possible with recent advancements. So it is obviously set back in the old days. They're rendering 7 polygon trees. Awesome. So gradual improvements of the ACL influence have led to predictive advancements accuracy to reach unprecedented heights. A total of 15 simulations have been run during the month of October, with each test giving new insight into unprecedented technological advancements. With the help of ACL and our client, we are expected to pass all the competitors within a year in the field of graphics, random access memory, and processing power. Okay, so AI helped you figure that out? Okay, failure avoidance. They've avoided 23 technological failures. This would not have been possible without the support and wisdom from our client. So our client, who spearheaded our artificial computer learning project. So who's the client? I have to imagine it's the aliens, okay? They're the ones that are able to provide this level of technological advancement that people can spark off of, okay? Regnat Computing is an alien front. That much we know. That much we have to know. ACL communication. All communications made with our client through the month of October are recorded via the ACL monitor room and are now showcased on this tape. Let's listen. Oh, yeah, it's aliens. They're aliens. Ah, we got a little monochrome terminal activating transmitter array. Ain't no dial-up I ever heard of. Speaking room online. Are they communicating via literal text for this? Prompt Earth. Client ready for speaker. Oh, the iris is up, and now they're going to communicate back to us. Let's listen. Iteration 1417. Is it the story? Mary sees the gateway die on Saturn. Sleeping ones are eaten whole. The vessel floats into the maw. The jaw unhinges. Is that the whole story? Yeah, that's where it ends. Now we're in Moonlight. Okay, so the gateway was on Saturn. Let's see what happened with Moonlight. Let's see what happened to that. New things roam the feeding grounds out by the camp. The Harbinger guards in vain. Mary hears a creaking sound. A hungry eye is welcomed. Okay, that's where they feed on humans there. I feel like wait, are they feeding on us because we're their processing power? Is that a thing? Are they using human brains to process? That might be why they're after kids, considering that they last the longest. Jack is with us now. Jack is with us now. Jack is with us now. I think human beings are the processing method. Because if you think about it, if they're grabbing human beings and, infecting them, and, if in some capacity, if you take some of them and, bring them back into, whatever capture, whatever, ship that you have, human, it's kind of couldn't you, I mean, if we're going by sci-fi tropes, right? A human brain could possibly be used to, accelerate the AI. Maybe, the AI success is not the software that's written, is the fact that the hardware is literally capable of neural processing. Our actual brains are being used to process this advanced artificial intelligence that's able to cause so many advancements in technological, maybe that's the case. I mean, we're literally taking fire from these alien gods, and at the same time, selling ourselves in the market too. Beyond the advancements in computer sciences and artificial intelligence, we're going to go back to the story and get a glimpse of what an attack looks like in the video titled Christmas Eve Party. Yeah, see, the audio is really creepy to listen to in this one. It's really messing with me. The audio is very well done for this art. Again, it's not just the VHS horror, it's just the audio is so well. Okay, alright, let's look at that in a freeze frame fashion. That was not normal. So of course you can see right over here, we've got We've got what seems to be these aliens spreading their tendons inside the area. Now, I don't know if they're inside the house, but it seems like as soon as you witness them, they're gone. Yeah, Jack and Mary are dead. Of course, they've seen way too much. Okay, so it seems like we've got an eye here. Like, is that the... Oh, no. No, that's the actual alien right there. That is for sure the alien being. I think the last thing is they're going to knock on the door, and you don't want to answer that knock. Alex Whitler and videographer Jack Dean. Complete faces have been removed. Mary. That's what Mary turned into, because she had the deep root disease. That's like final stages. Now it makes sense. Now this takes us to the home invasion, and this is where things, I think, are going to ramp up even more. Just because home invasions usually are the real golden ticket. And home invasion can be a daunting and stressful prospect. I wouldn't say that this is a prospect, guys, but, you know, the videotape is intended to ease your stress and prepare you for home invasion, step by step, should the moment arise. Keep in mind, windows and doors are most commonly used entrances during home invasions. Ensuring that these areas are locked may prevent or slow home invaders, allowing for authorities to be called. You're not winning. A number of security systems can be installed at home, including cameras, motion detectors, and alarms. All these systems may be disabled via blunt force. Or, you know, you can always just cut the power. That's always the thing. At most, home invasions take place at night. Sufficient lighting can successfully stop a home invader before they even reach the house. That's true. That's why I have, like, security lights all around my house. Somebody comes near here, the whole neighborhood knows. Burrowing. Burrowing underneath the home's foundation can create... allowing for easy access between nests. The subterranean nests we saw. The following will explain what to do upon entry into a home. Oh shit, I just realized. I'm an idiot. This is teaching you how to do the home invasion. Okay. Alright. I'm an idiot. That's why it seemed weird. It's teaching the aliens. It's teaching the people who have been infected. The mind-controlled masses how to invade into the next prey's home. Locate the prey. That's what you gotta do. Then you gotta incap the prey. That's what we're really after. That's the sweet little meats, right? Enter prey via proboscis. Is that... What's proboscis? Proboscis is an elongated appendage from the head of an animal, either a vertebrate or an invertebrate. Invertebrates. This term usually refers to tubular mouthparts used for feeding and sucking. Okay, so the nose of a mammal. You want me to enter them through their nose? Is that how we infect? Okay. Well, here we got like an actual home invasion in progress, boys. So let's, boys and girls, let's learn from the best of Gemini. Okay, look around their house real quick, and it seems like we have some tendril monsters right there. We have some tendons. Maybe this might already be an infection, you never know. These people have been infected for a long time, man. You can tell people have been infected. These people have been actually infected forever. Yeah, that person's been infected. But look at how fresh the iris is in this case. That's gonna... Oh, that moved! Oh, Christ, that person is alive and dandy. Why would you even break into a house like this? Oh, God. Oh, no, you're screwed. You're screwed. They're grabbing them, they're turning them, they're consuming them, and that person is dead. Next, we go into the final sort of piece, the Gemini Crusader probe mission video. Now, of course, I assume from the title, this has to do a lot with space exploration, so hopefully we'll get some real answers as to who these things are. After 12 long years, Crusader 5 successfully completed its planetary flyby mission, resulting in a plethora of new data and photographs. During its mission, Crusader photographed Jupiter, Saturn, and Neptune. Crusader Timeline Incident, outlining the timeline and events leading to and during the Crusader incident. So, Crusader approaches Jupiter, so it's 1982. July 3rd, 1982, those are shots of it. And this is us crossing it, okay. So July and August. Then you've got Callisto, which is the moon of Jupiter. Wait, oh, I thought there was somebody on the moon. Like, you could see like a silhouette, like right. Europa would be another moon. How many moons does Jupiter have? Like 4? Or just 3? Okay. So we've got 3 moons. Then December, we get to Saturn. And so December 5th, 1985, this is an image of Saturn. Okay. So the gateway should be somewhere on there. So Titan, the moon of Saturn. Aeptus, another moon of Saturn. Chiron. But where's the gateway here? Because there's got to be a gateway. Crusader approaches Neptune. Okay, so this is the real important one. Approaches for... Wait, where was Neptune? Did it disappear? What's the first cluster? Is Neptune gone? Themis, moon of Saturn. Okay, so that moon's got like a little... The gateway? It's got like a straight burrow in it. Hestia and Kadlu, moon of Jupiter and moon of Uranus. Ceto, moon of... These are not moons. These are like installations, weird renderings. And then December 92, Crusader approaches. That is covered in tendrils. Cyst, moon of Iris, is covered in tendrils. Umbilic, moon of Virtru... So this is like a different area. This is not even like our area. This is not even like the solar system. That's a fucking sperm. Eucois, moon of Iris. And then Macula. So Macula we've seen. This is what it seems we're communicating with. So Iris is their home planet. Saturn or Neptune seem to be the gateways to it. Vitreous. Maybe they're not moons, but so much like planetary-sized beings. January 1993, Crusader experienced a sudden gravitational pull. 1993, Crusaders enter Ehisafage Grove. And then it enters the pattern. Then it enters the respiratory spinal complex. Yeah, the whole planet is like a living being. 1993, the lower sacralic throat. Then it approaches the conscious mind. You go into Iris and it's just another version of like our Earth? October 24th, 1993. Crusader signal lost for 7 months. It was May 1994. Ah, the month I was born. Crusader approaches Earth. Oh no! Whatever the alien group is, Iris, they captured the Crusader, and we did this to ourselves. We brought back whatever they had from their planet to us using the Crusader. This thing came back to Earth May of 1994 and caused this? No, that's not entirely true. But whatever it is, we've definitely made contact with whatever group is out in Iris, and now it's like we're only exacerbating the situation, if anything.
I think the real ending to this, the real theory that I can come up with, is that this is the actual end of the universe itself. Now, earlier in the beginning of this video, I talked about the Fermi paradox, which is a general idea is not to ask, when do we make first contact with aliens, but rather, why haven't we actually made first contact yet? Now, we're in the last stages of our universe, and clearly we've been around here for a while. If we look at the math surrounding the size of our universe, it should at least confirm that we aren't the only form of intellectual life that could exist. According to the amount of stars that exist just around us in the galaxy, each with their own system sometimes, even by conservative estimates, if you took 5% of those stars above us, 5 to 20-ish%, you could find that there are sun-like stars out there, 500 billion of them. Now, how many of those suns could have planets that could potentially host life? Again, if we're to go completely conservative, we could dig up a value of around 22%. And then we'd have to come to a conclusion that at least 1% of the stars in our universe could host a potentially viable planet for life to enrich. That number being around 100 billion planets. Again, the universe is massive in scope. Now, to conservatively speculate, let's assume only 1% of that life could have made it to intelligence. You'd still be looking at millions, again, if not billions of civilizations that are spread through the galaxy. In just the Milky Way, if you look at us, just as a country, if you will, in the galactic sphere, we're looking at around 100,000 intelligent civilizations, roughly, living within our galactic borders. So, conservatively, where is everyone? I like to think that the Gemini story, not of an alien invasion necessarily, I mean, that could be that, but it is a story of an end. Maybe the end already has happened. During the space exploration mission we just saw, none of us saw traces of an alien civilization, alien or anything, in the iris itself. By all accounts, the moons and the planets looked entirely infected, changed, serving as gateways. Neptune itself has been referred to as mutated. Scientists around the world debate if we should even broadcast tones into the universe, signals, giving away any sign of our existence. The Fermi paradox itself doesn't even have a concrete answer, but rather answers and hypothesizes numerous scenarios. The simplest one being that we survived an incredibly important event in the cultivation of life, a great filter that weeds out a useless species from one that evolves appropriately. The worst theory is that we could actually be headed to an Armageddon event that, again, filters us out. Now, according to the Kardashev scale, which gauges technological advancement of life at a scale of how much energy a species can control and utilize, we're not even really at the first type. If anything, we're barely encroaching the ability to use the actual energy around our planet. To truly beat this filter, it's making it to a Type 2 or Type 3 civilization that can really seal the deal. So let's assume that there is a filter that keeps the best of the best in the galaxy. Obviously, we can't be the only ones that have beaten it. So this is where the possibilities of the Fermi paradox are incredibly vast. For one, it details that we could have made first contact even back in the Paleolithic era, and because we were cavemen, we simply couldn't record that information, and so we have no idea that first, contact has ever happened. There could even be a reason that we have not seen any intelligent life, because the end goal of a species is not to traverse the star system, but to create a utopian society where energy consumption is neutral, where all needs are met, and people can live within their own world. It could explain why, if life exists, everything sticks to its own borders, because if life truly reaches perfection, they'll achieve that. Now, one scary thought is if a predator species lives out in the galaxy, another higher group of intelligence that wants to stamp out all emerging intelligences like us. And again, us sending out our signal and broadcasting it through SETI could only be broadcasting our existence for us to be tracked down and potentially killed. We may even bring something back through those limited space exploration missions that we've been doing. Stephen Hawking once said if aliens visit us, the outcome would be as much as when Columbus landed in America, which didn't turn out well for the Native Americans. It's a grim thought, but it would make sense if the species contacting us was of a higher intelligence, a technological caliber above us, and considers us simply as a virus amongst the world, a blight. But if a species exists to stamp out competing life before it can blossom itself, that is an inefficient use of any resources. Unless that species is already dead. Throughout the story, we've seen infection and the concept of feeding. Throughout the story, we've seen glimpses of alien habitats, and none of it seems to contain a culture or any form of intelligent life that really seeks to pursue anything other than consumption. They're just weird creatures with lights for heads, running around, grabbing children and human beings, scanning their dreams and giving us faint signals, only to lead us to our deaths. What if what happened in the universe is a disease, a pathogen that exists to consume every life in the galaxy, and we just got in the way? The planets have mutated, and all we're getting are signs, and we're giving signals, and we've basically allowed us very shortly in recent decades to become a target for whatever pathogen that exists, or a virus. Maybe the chance that we haven't seen life outside our planet is not because we're observed or we're harvested, or rather, the end of the world has actually already happened. Not the end of the world, the end of the galaxy and all life within it. Look, we're in the last stages of our galaxy cooling. So why is it that maybe we're not even in the last stages of life itself nearly ending? Whatever alien species exists in the Gemini experiments, in the Gemini, home entertainment series, has really shown me that it's not as alien as one would think. It's not another form of life. Rather, it's just an infection. At least that's how it appears to me. It could be that a super predator exists. It could be that we have allowed aliens to discover us, and those aliens want to stamp us out because, again, we're just a dumb, insignificant virus that's potentially spreading through the world. Right now, we're on Earth. But what happens if human beings start making out to Mars or beyond our solar system? Then we're a virus that was left unchecked, at least to a superior, higher intelligence that exists above us. But that's just one theory to have.
Now, while there are 2 weeks old videos existing on the platform known as Shifting Tendons and Wretched Hands, things have truly changed. And in this situation, I want to kind of stop and lead you to check out their channel for yourself. We've looked at Gemini History's entire old catalog for now, and piecing together the story, this is clearly alien invasion that's existed not just from outer space, but it seems these people have been here for a long time, feeding on human beings, living in the deep reaches of space, living in, the Marianas Trench and below, and living in the subterranean caverns out of human sight. But it seems like we've exacerbated the situation, and now they're using disease to further infect us and take over our people more and more, while at the same time providing us with technological advancements that I think a lot of people are benefiting from, but maybe it is making a deal with the devil, because I really think Gemini is going to end the story on us basically seeing the end of the world witnessed in a flash of a second by an alien species that frankly does not care about human beings other than as a source of fuel and simple enjoyment is what I'm going to leave it at. But what I am going to leave you at is going down the rabbit hole further yourself. So revisit all these videos, watch them entirely for yourself, because I definitely did cut out a fair bit just for, the sake of time and brevity. But really, if you want to look at it further and further and further, there are 2 new videos known as Shifting Tendons and Wretched Hands. These are going to lead you down a rabbit hole even further. And of course, this shows you that Gemini Home Entertainment is not done with the story yet. And of course, when the next batch of videos come out, something for me to really cover and look through, I'm going to jump back in. Because I like to leave these ARGs really in their own, I like to look at them, give them some time, give them room to breathe, and then come back to them and analyze them even further as time goes on. That said, though, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. But I'm going to leave you the question, are we really safe? Because I tell you, when I watch stuff like this, it freaks me out. But that said, though, this is me, Muda, and I am